Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics as Non-Classic. This episode number 687 and Doubleshot number 591. One X-Men trade and a Deathstroke trade. Yep, that's what I got to review. The other one, Deathstroke trade, this is one I own. Alright, let's talk about this X-Men trade. New X-Men, Here Comes Tomorrow. Excuse me, which is technically... I think it's volume 8. I think it's it's volume 7. Yeah, volume 7. This is technically the last official trade of the new X-Men trade series for Grant Morrison. Despite the fact I still got Planet X left to review and Bright New Morning, which Bright New Morning contains the last couple issues of this run. What is this particular? Okay, the artwork is done by Mark Silvestri, the guy who created one of the creators of Witchblade, and basically the founder of the Top Gun brand. This storyline, it's notes in the future. Yep. It kind of started because, well, after events of Planet X, and of course after Jean Grey's death. By the way, that death basically stuck for years until last year with the resurrection of Jean Grey. Which, I hope to get my hands on that trade soon. Alright, as for this particular storyline. Well, in this storyline, apparently because Cyclops refused to reform the X-Men after the events of Planet X, we jump ahead 150 years in the future, and apparently you have Wolverine. And here's the thing: the X-Men in this reality are the following: Wolverine, I think this is EVA, one of Beak's kids. Martha is still alive. I should point out though, Wolverine is wearing part of his really good. I actually like this costume a lot better. He's wearing a torn up version of his classic costume with jeans, stuff like that, with a set that works for him. Oh yeah, Beast is a villain in this storyline. His fur is turned white, and then of course during the course of the storyline, there was a new Phoenix egg that arrived on Earth which had Jean Grey in it. And Wolverine's like, I haven't seen you in 150 years. And you're like, really? 150 years? Though they do kind of end the story on a very happy note with Jean basically messages to Scott the story from the X-Men. Though it has the most controversial ending ever. It started a romance that, for a lot of people, they didn't care about this romance at all. Like, the readers didn't care. Marvel pushed this romance for 8 years. 8 years to push this romance. You're probably wondering, which romance? How about, if I can get to it, Cyclops and Emma Frost. Oh, by the way, where are they kissing at? Jean Grey's grave. Not kidding. That is literally Jean Grey's grave. Yeah. So Grant Morrison started something that not a lot of people liked, and it continued for 8 years. It ended after AVX. Oh yeah, and by the way, during the course of the time, they had sex many times over the years. Before they kind of ended their relationship because of Phoenix. Despite the whole thing of... Despite the ending, I actually find this storyline to be really good. I don't have a really big problem with Cyclops and Emma Frost because he needs to move on from Jean Grey. So why not go after another hot woman who already had a kind of sort of relationship in the first place? I'm going to give this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's a great way to end this run. Not a controversial arc per se, but it's not very long. It's only 4 issues. I think even the Planet X was only I think it was 5 issues. Yep. Alright, next up is the Deathstroke trade, and that's Deathstroke the Terminator, Volume 4, Crash or Burn, collecting Deathstroke number 21 to 25 and A number 2. Here's the neat thing about these issues. These issues in here, one issue is written by Marv Wolfman, but everything else in here is done, with the exception of the annual, is done by Stephen Grant. Yep, Stephen Grant takes over as the writer for a brief period of time. Lee Wing is on the writing in the annual. The artwork in here is done by Steve Irwin, Gabriel Masterva, Vance Russell, and Frank Turner. The cover art in here is done by Mike Zack. Yep, and here, there's various different things that happens in here, Deathstroke runs into the female vigilante, Pat Trace. Oh, and by the way, they have sex again. Yep, second time in this run they actually have sex. Also, they apparently had this thing where if you look on the covers, it's not in the first issue. Nope, it's not with the first issue. It's actually with issue 22 that for some reason, I actually don't know why in the world this was like this. Apparently, starting with issue 22 says now bi-weekly. So that means this comic was coming out every 2 weeks. If I get a chance to meet either Stephen Grant, I'm actually going to meet Mike Zack at Comic Con, hopefully next month. I'm going to ask him about that. Like, why in the world did this book, which usually was monthly, switch to come out twice a month? Though, the recent volume did do that for about 19 issues. Though starting issue 20, they switched to a monthly basis, though they're ending the comic anyways. Yeah. The annual was, of course, a tie-in to Bloodlines, a crossover that was not very good. It's, trying to create a new line of heroes, and they all have the same backstory. They get beaten by an alien and become a superhero. Yep. Let's see. I don't think there's any, aside from Pat Trace, I don't think there's any other major characters who pop up in here. We have Wintergreen. But I think aside from that, I don't think there's anybody else. No. I don't think so. I've never reviewed anything by Stephen Grant before. I'm going to give my opinion about him. The man is a damn good writer. He's one of my personal favorite writers. He actually wrote the very first volume of The Punisher from the 80s. Though I didn't read it when it came out, but the volume was really damn good. Stephen Grant, very underrated writer. I kind of wish the guy would get more work. In the case of I haven't heard anything recently he's done. Nope. But the weird thing about these issues, with the exception of probably the annual, there's like nobody outside Deathstroke and Wintergreen who actually pop up in these issues. Yeah. Though they do debut the character of Gunfire, who, yes, this guy did briefly have a series pop with DC. No, I've never read it. But yeah, great issues. I kind of wish Stephen Grant got a lot more love. I know Dark Horse did collect his X series. The series that's kind of their... the character X was Dark Horse's version of the Punisher. That's essentially what he was. And the only piece of work that's been collected aside from that is Marvel has collected at least 2 or 3 times his miniseries he did for The Punisher. I'm going to ask Mike Zack about working with Stephen Grant like twice. Let's see. Any other work of his been collected? Aside from this, nothing else I can think of. And this is the most recent trade release for this current volume. I have to look it up and see exactly when Volume 5 is coming out. But what is this trade? I'm going to give this trade roughly a 9.5 out of 10. It's really, really good. It's really good. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's something different from Deathstroke. You don't have freaking guest star appearance by DC Universe. It's basically Deathstroke on his own. Pat Trace was a recurring character in this book anyways. But, yeah, also he's also hired by another woman to protect her from something she's also a criminal. And I think the whole thing of Pat Trace and Deathstroke having sex, yeah, that was predictable. You want to know how? Pat Trace ended up in his hotel room butt naked in his bed. Right after he came out of the shower. So yeah, they had sex. As for how old Deathstroke is supposed to be, I have no idea how old the heck he's supposed to be. I think he might be in his 40s or 50s. I don't really know exactly how old the man is. Let me look it up here. Let's see. World Tour, which is the 5th volume. Just looked it up. Doesn't come out to January. So I have to wait like 5 months for the next volume for this, which is bizarre. Excuse me. For the current volume, I have to wait to October to get this book. Yep. I have to wait to frickin' October to get this book. So, in the case of Volume 5 for the current volume, only have to wait about 3 months. At least right now, 3 months. Volume 5 for this, I have to wait 5 months. Yeah, a very long time. Yep. hmm Yep. But yeah, still really good. Alright, though, that's it for this particular review. Next episode probably will come in the next few days, maybe. I'm not doing one tomorrow because I don't have more trades. All I got is novels. But I do expect to see a novel review probably by this weekend, maybe. Um, let's see. It'd be another Titan book. Yes, another book for Star Trek Titan. I'm planning on reviewing that. Um, let's see. For this weekend, I'm still planning to do an extra review for One Piece. I have heard My Hero Academia apparently is not releasing an episode this week. Yeah, that was really weird when I heard about that. hmm Yeah, and that's not the only thing getting delayed. It was also announced that next week's episode, Baruto, has been delayed. Yeah, that's been delayed, so it's not come out until 2 weeks after this week. So, yeah, I don't know why in the world but expect to see manga reviews for this weekend for Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, Seven Deadly Sins. One Piece you're definitely going to get when I get a chance to view the next episode. Let's see. Um, but yeah, that's all I got to say about that. But expect more reviews this weekend. And mostly anime stuff. Those of you a little curious though, if I'm going to do like more stuff, like am I going to do like another top 10 soon, maybe in a QA, depends upon what I'm going to, it depends upon my mood. I might do one, I don't know. But I'll make an announcement about that in the near future, okay? But see you next review. Bye.